Welcome to wild nature. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the beauty of the untamed world around you.
When the desert meets the Atlantic Ocean, one of the world's most extreme ecosystems unfolds. The majestic beauty of nature here is not meant to be admired, but to be fought for. The largest and most formidable predators blend into the red sands, waiting for their chance at survival. Namibia. Time and wind have sculpted every glowing red dune. Where the cold winds from the Atlantic blow, they only intensify the challenge. Nowhere else in the world is the battle for survival as fierce as it is here. Welcome to wild Namibia, the endless struggle for survival in the vast desert wilderness. Despite its harshness, nature still holds unexpected blessings from a higher power. This is reflected in the remarkable adaptability and survival instincts of Namibia's resilient creatures. This land is the ultimate racecourse for the cheetah. They select, approach, and launch into high-speed pursuits of their prey. The blazing sun quickly drains their energy. The cheetah stands at a crossroads, either push harder to catch the prey or abandon the chase. As night falls, leopards lurk on cliffs towering 100 feet high, waiting for an unsuspecting victim to pass by. Meanwhile, powerful lions are on the prowl, seeking any means to fill their hungry bellies. They are ready to fight for food, even if it means clashing with other predators. All of this is part of the relentless struggle for survival in this unforgiving world. Namibia, with its vast area of 318,261 square miles, is a land of diverse landscapes and rich historical significance. The Nama Group region of Namibia is notable for its fossils from the Ediacaran period, approximately 600 million years ago, providing crucial evidence of the early emergence of multicellular life on Earth. The Khomas highlands in the center and the Kalahari Plains in the east bear witness to millions of years of Namibia's geological transformations. Since the Precambrian era, around 550 million years ago, volcanic activity and tectonic movements have shaped the region's varied landscapes and rich mineral deposits. As a result, Namibia has become a hotspot for geologists and paleontologists alike. Stretching over 1,200 miles along the Namibian coast is the Namib Desert, where pristine beauty and harshness intertwine. For over 55 million years, the Namib Desert, one of the oldest deserts in the world, has stood as an eternal witness. It has observed the constant transformation of sand and wind. The towering red dunes, over 1,150 feet high, act like colossal natural walls, shifting endlessly under nature's force. The landscape changes every day, but the severity remains unchanged. Sossusvlei and Deadvlei are clear examples of nature's evolution. Where life once flourished, now only the remains of camel thorn trees, dead for 900 years, stand silently on the sun-bleached earth. Here, life must find ways to adapt to impossible conditions. The Namib desert beetle, though small, has the remarkable ability to collect moisture from morning fog on its back. This extraordinary mechanism has inspired water harvesting systems in dry regions around the world. Amid the arid Namib Desert, where desert winds sweep across towering dunes, the oryx gazelle, also known as the gemsbok, moves with steadfast determination. This large antelope can weigh up to 460 pounds and stand nearly 4 feet tall at the shoulder. Having evolved over millions of years, they are equipped to survive the harshest conditions of the hot, sandy desert. Their long, straight horns, measuring between 33 to 47 inches, sharp like swords, serve as formidable weapons for defense, allowing them to fend off predators. The Namib Desert, with its minimal rainfall of just a few inches per year, presents an exceptionally challenging habitat. Yet, the oryx has evolved to cope with the extreme heat by tolerating body temperatures up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit without sweating. This adaptation allows them to conserve water, an invaluable resource in this environment. During prolonged dry spells, oryx can survive for weeks without drinking water, obtaining moisture from dry grasses and succulent plants. The gemsbok is most active in the early morning and late afternoon when the temperatures are cooler. On the harshest days, they migrate across the arid desert, seeking out grass that sprouts from the rare, fleeting rains. Their unique circulatory system protects their brain from overheating, ensuring survival even when the surrounding environment becomes unbearably hot. Meanwhile, the springbok has its own unique methods for surviving under the scorching sun on the vast yellow sands. Standing between 28 to 34 inches tall and weighing 66 to 99 pounds. The springbok is distinguished by its coat of brown, white and black. When it moves, a special strip of fur along its back can stand erect like a flag, signaling potential danger to others or simply expressing excitement. The springbok's ability to survive in the arid environment is remarkable. They can go weeks, sometimes months, without drinking water, instead drawing moisture from dry grasses and succulent plants scattered across the desert. At night, when humidity rises, they roam in search of food, maximizing the water retention benefits of the plants they consume. The name springbok comes from its characteristic leaping behavior, known as pronking. They can leap up to 6.6 feet high with their legs held stiffly straight, creating a striking and powerful display. This behavior serves not only as a response to threats but also as an expression of energy and unity within the herd. Seasonally, springbok herds move across various areas. When rains arrive, lush green grass springs up, signaling the start of the breeding season. The herds shift their habitats, seeking fresh grasslands following these rare rains. Desert elephants are not a separate species, but are part of the African bush elephants that have adapted to the extreme conditions of the desert. This population is particularly unique and rare, with only about 150 individuals remaining, mainly residing in the Kunne and Orongo regions of northwestern Namibia. They face numerous challenges, from habitat loss to the threats of climate change and human-wildlife conflict. Their low reproduction rate makes the population even more vulnerable to these pressures. Unlike their grassland relatives, desert elephants are smaller in size, with longer legs and larger feet that help them move across sand dunes without sinking. These adaptations enable them to travel great distances, sometimes tens or even hundreds of miles, in search of water and food in an unforgiving landscape. Dry riverbeds like the Ugab and Huab serve as their lifelines, where they dig deep to access underground water, providing not only for themselves, but for other desert creatures as well. Desert elephants are omnivorous. They consume any available vegetation, from shrubs and trees to succulent plants like camelthorn and mopane. During times of scarcity, they may strip the bark from trees to access the nutrients within. To avoid the blistering heat of the day, they often forage at night or during cooler hours. However, their most remarkable trait is their ability to withstand water scarcity. While grassland elephants require daily water intake, desert-adapted elephants can survive up to 5 days without drinking. Their ability to store water and extract moisture from plants allows them to endure life in the dry desert environment. The arid Namib Desert, where sandstorms and scorching heat dominate, is also home to the resilient meerkat, small yet enduring creatures. This endemic species is widespread across Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. In Namibia, they primarily inhabit dry areas such as Damaraland and along dry riverbeds, where conditions are always challenging. With a compact body measuring just 17.7 to 21.7 inches in length and weighing between 1.4 and 2.1 pounds, meerkats easily blend into the desert landscape. Their light brown-grey fur provides effective camouflage, creating a hazy contrast under Namib's intense sunlight. The black circles around their eyes not only reduce glare, but also enhance their long-distance vision in bright conditions. The life of meerkats relies heavily on the strength of their community. They live in large social groups called mobs or clans, which can consist of up to 50 members. Their strong cooperative spirit is evident in daily activities, from hunting and territorial defense to caring for the young. While some members go out foraging, others stand guard, alerting the group to danger with distinct calls. This tight social system is essential for survival, helping them fend off threats from predators like birds of prey. Meerkats are omnivores. They hunt insects such as beetles, centipedes, and even small lizards. To survive in the dry environment, they also turn to succulent plants to absorb moisture. This ability allows them to endure during periods of water scarcity, a feat not every species can achieve. The temperature remains stable, shielding them from the daytime heat and keeping them warm during cold nights. As dusk falls, or in the early morning, they emerge from their burrows, beginning their hunt across the quiet sand fields. This is the daily rhythm of the meerkats amidst the harshness of nature. The Skeleton Coast, where the barren Namib Desert meets the frigid Benguela Current, forms a natural landscape of eerie beauty. Beneath the seemingly endless stretches of sand, this place is not merely a dead land, but a meeting point of vigorous life. From scattered shipwrecks, relics of distant journeys, the Skeleton Coast exudes a raw, desolate beauty with hidden vitality. The Benguela Current, carrying cold waters from Antarctica, makes this coastline unique. It brings in thick fog blankets, acting like a protective cover over the arid land, stretching up to 30 miles inland. This fog serves as a precious water source, sustaining plants and animals adapted to the harsh environment. This scene presents a perfect contrast. A fragile mist that is the primary source of life in a land where rainfall is scant. Along the Skeleton Coast, large colonies of Cape fur seals have thrived in a marine environment so harsh that few species can endure it. They live in vast groups of up to 300,000 individuals. The large males, weighing up to 770 pounds, dominate the coastline. Meanwhile, the smaller females, weighing between 88 to 176 pounds, focus on nurturing their young amid the relentless elements. The survival of the Cape fur seal depends on the Benguela Current, which sustains the entire population. Thanks to the cold Benguela Current, these seals enjoy a rich food supply of fish, squid, and crustaceans. Cape fur seals are skilled hunters, diving to depths of up to 660 feet and holding their breath for as long as 7.5 minutes as they hunt below the ocean's surface. Each dive is a life or death journey, where they face formidable predators like the great white shark. Life on land is equally intense for the Cape fur seal. The breeding season transforms the coastline into a battleground, with aggressive males defending their territories fiercely. Meanwhile, the young pups face threats from brown hyenas, predators that take advantage of the adult's absence while they are out hunting at sea. According to the Journal of Marine Biology, pup mortality rates have risen due to hyena predation, creating a dramatic survival cycle along the Skeleton Coast. The brown hyena, also known as the strand wolf, exists quietly along the desolate inland stretches near the coast. In a landscape of swirling sand and scarce food, this rarest of hyena species has developed its own unique survival tactics. With its dark brown, shaggy fur, large ears, and lean frame, the brown hyena stands out. Standing about 30 inches tall and weighing between 75 to 100 pounds, this seemingly small creature harbors impressive strength. They target vulnerable young Cape fur seals as a vital food source, helping them sustain life. With powerful jaws capable of crushing bone, they consume nearly every part of a carcass, leaving little behind for others. Despite their resilience, brown hyenas face the threat of population decline. Climate change and habitat loss have placed them on the IUCN's near-threatened list. Projects like the Skeleton Coast Brown Hyena Project are working to monitor and protect this species, ensuring they continue to thrive in the wild. The Skeleton Coast is also frequented by the black-backed jackal. With its silver-black coat stretching from shoulders to tail, this jackal stands out against the yellow sand and grey gravel of Namibia's coastline. Weighing between 13 to 29 pounds and standing about 15 to 19 inches tall, the black-backed jackal may be small, but its agility and intelligence make it a formidable opportunistic hunter. Life for this jackal is a survival race. On the Skeleton Coast, it targets Cape fur seal colonies, especially the vulnerable young or any abandoned remains. By utilizing all available food sources, from fresh meat, insects, and fruit to carrion, the black-backed jackal demonstrates remarkable adaptability and resilience. Not just a hunter, this jackal also serves as a scavenger, helping to maintain the ecological balance of this coastal environment. However, their foraging extends beyond the coastline. During cold, long nights, they can cover up to 31 miles searching for their next meal. Their quiet steps weave through the sand and rocks, following traces of life in this stark landscape. The desolate shores of the Skeleton Coast, nourished by the cold Benguela Current, bring a rich supply of food from deep within the ocean. This current is a lifeline for numerous seabird species. Against the white sands and rugged rocks of the Skeleton Coast, the African black oystercatcher stands out with its jet-black plumage. Its orange-red beak and legs appear like bright accents against the stark landscape, reflecting its long-standing connection to this harsh marine ecosystem. This bird has lived here for thousands of years, becoming an integral part of Namibia's coastal ecosystem. It primarily hunts at low tide, using its sharp beak to forage for mussels, oysters, and marine worms. With skillful precision, it extracts these invertebrates, showcasing the expert hunting techniques the African black oystercatcher has perfected over time. This coastline is not only a hunting ground, but also a nesting sanctuary for the African black oystercatcher. During the breeding season, from September to April, pairs nest on sandy beaches or rocky shores near the water's edge. However, these nesting sites come with significant risks. Storms, large waves, and predators constantly threaten their eggs and young chicks. Each pair lays only 1 to 3 eggs, and survival rates are low. On average, only 1 chick survives every 3 to 4 years. while adult birds remain close to their nest within a range of about 9 miles. Young oystercatchers may migrate up to 1,200 miles, only to return to their birthplace after a few years. These distant journeys, a kind of pilgrimage to their origins, help maintain balance within their population. The skeleton coast of Namibia also witnesses the resilient yet precarious survival of the Cape gannet. Flat, rocky surfaces on islands like Mercury, Ichabod, and Possession serve as sanctuaries for dense colonies of these seabirds. Here, thousands of nests are built closely together to minimize the risk of predator attacks. The Cape gannet's breeding season occurs in winter. During this time, females incubate their eggs for around 42 days until the chicks hatch. After 90 to 105 days, the young birds leave their nests and embark on the challenging life at sea. The Cape gannet is renowned for its exceptional diving skill. From high above, they dive into the ocean at speeds up to 62 miles per hour, piercing the deep blue to catch sardines and anchovies, their primary food sources. Their wide wings enable them to travel hundreds of miles each day in search of food offshore. These flocks can fly up to 124 miles out to sea, riding the wind currents and skillfully alternating between flapping and gliding to conserve energy during their journey. Yet, this strength cannot counter the impact of overfishing and changes in the marine ecosystem, which have depleted their food sources. Within just 50 years, from the 1950s to 2000, the Cape gannet population in Namibia plummeted from 114,600 breeding pairs to only 18,200 pairs, a decline of 84%. This alarming drop led to the Cape gannet being classified as endangered by the IUCN in 2017. The southwestern coast of Africa, along the wild skeleton coast, is an ideal breeding ground for the Cape cormorant. Coastal rock formations and isolated islands serve as natural fortresses. Here, large colonies of Cape cormorants nest closely together, using collective safety to ward off predators in this harsh environment. Adult Cape cormorants reach a length of about 30 to 34 inches. Their jet-black plumage gleaming with a blue sheen under sunlight, creating a mysterious and captivating image against the vast landscape. The hunting skills of the Cape cormorant have been honed and optimized over time. They dive into the cold ocean waters with agility and remarkable precision to catch small fish like sardines and anchovies, their primary food sources. Their deep dives showcase their extraordinary survival abilities in a challenging environment. However, even these well-developed skills cannot shield them from external pressures. Cape cormorants face a severe decline in food supply, a consequence of overfishing of the fish species they rely on. According to the IUCN, the Cape cormorant is now listed as endangered, reflecting a significant population decrease in recent decades. Conservation efforts focused on habitat protection and fishery management have become the only key to saving this species from the brink of extinction. The Skeleton Coast is also home to the African penguin. This is Africa's only penguin species, forming dense colonies on coastal islands between Namibia and South Africa. Their population is estimated at around 5,300 pairs in Namibia and 13,200 pairs in South Africa. These penguins stand between 24 to 28 inches tall and weigh between 4.9 to 7.7 pounds. Their backs are solid black, contrasting with their pristine white bellies, accented by a black band across the chest, creating a unique interplay of light and dark against the ocean backdrop. The black spots and bands on their bellies are unique to each individual, much like human fingerprints, giving every penguin a distinct identity. The African penguin relies primarily on sardines and anchovies for sustenance. However, when these fish become scarce, they turn to gobies to survive. Their deep dives and cooperative hunting techniques are crucial for finding food in the ocean depths. Yet, increased maritime traffic disrupts these hunting behaviors, making it harder for them to sustain their colonies. Since the early 20th century, the African penguin population has declined by 95%, a staggering decrease. The main threats include overfishing, oil pollution from ships, and habitat changes due to climate change. Currently listed as endangered by the IUCN, conservation efforts for this species have become increasingly urgent. In the central highlands of Namibia, Irindi Private Game Reserve spans over 70,719 hectares, presenting a vibrant natural landscape. The scenery here is ever-changing, from vast savannas to lush grasslands, rising into rugged rocky hills. Irindi is more than just a sanctuary. It's a story of harmony between earth and nature. At the heart of this ecosystem are natural waterholes. During the dry season, these waterholes become lifelines for a multitude of animal species. This reserve is home to over 60 species of mammals and 300 bird species. Notably, the presence of the Big Five, lion, leopard, rhinoceros, elephant and buffalo, moves quietly across this land, creating an atmosphere of tension and majesty. Within the wild plains of Irindi Private Game Reserve, the African wild dog stands out with its vibrant coat, thriving in a challenging environment. These dogs are widespread across sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in Namibia's deserts and savannas, and Irindi is a notable sanctuary for their conservation. Their fur, with intricate patches of black, white, yellow and brown, resembles an artful mosaic, making them easily recognizable in the natural world. But behind this beauty lies a relentless struggle for survival. This species is not only one of the most skilled predators, but also possesses an incredibly complex social structure. The pack organization is remarkable, with each group containing 10 to 15 individuals, sometimes even up to 40. Only the alpha pair breeds, while other members share the responsibility of raising the pups, even regurgitating food to feed them, a behavior rarely seen in other species. The close bond between pack members is the key to their strength, enabling them to achieve a hunting success rate of up to 80%, far surpassing other predators like lions or leopards. When hunting, African wild dogs never act alone. They employ a pack strategy, reaching speeds up to 43 miles per hour, chasing and encircling prey from multiple directions. This creates thrilling chases where the prey is exhausted in the chaos of perfect team coordination. However, their lives go beyond successful hunts. Their survival faces significant threats. The African wild dog is currently listed as endangered by the IUCN, with only about 6,600 mature individuals remaining worldwide. Factors such as habitat loss, human conflict, and illegal hunting are pushing them toward the brink of extinction. The vast expanse of shrubs and dry savanna in Irindi Private Game Reserve provides an ideal arena for the hunting pursuits of the leopard. As one of Africa's master predators, leopards possess remarkable adaptability. From dense forests to arid deserts, these big cats have demonstrated their survival prowess over thousands of years. In Irindi, leopards play a crucial role as primary predators, keeping populations of hoofed animals like kudu and springbok in balance. Unlike other predators, the leopard doesn't rely on numbers. They are solitary hunters, thriving on stealth and keen observation. Patience and finesse are a leopard's ultimate weapons. With their golden coat dotted with black rosettes, they blend seamlessly into the environment, concealing themselves among dusty fields to watch prey from afar. When the moment is right, the leopard bursts forth, taking down its prey in an instant. Weighing between 66 to 176 pounds, a leopard can leap across 20 feet in a flash, delivering a fatal blow. A bite to the neck ends the hunt, and the leopard quietly drags its prey up a tree to enjoy the reward. This flexibility is exemplified by its tree climbing ability, which helps leopards protect their kill from dangerous rivals like hyenas and lions. The southwestern black rhinoceros, a subspecies of the black rhino, primarily inhabits Namibia, including the Irindi Private Game Reserve. This species is well adapted to semi-arid environments, ranging from deserts to dry savannas. As one of the rarest animals, its population is currently around 2,583 individuals and is classified as near threatened by the IUCN. The southwestern black rhinoceros is typically solitary but exhibits social behavior, especially around water sources. Males usually have their own territories, though they are not highly territorial, while females often live with their young. These rhinos weigh between 1,760 to 2,980 pounds and can live up to 50 years. The southwestern black rhinoceros is distinguished by its hooked upper lip, which allows it to easily feed on leaves and small branches. As a browsing species, its diet includes shrubs, young branches, and leaves. This adaptation helps it survive in areas where food sources are limited. Etosha National Park, spanning over 8,600 square miles, is one of Namibia's most remarkable natural wonders. The landscape here is vast and full of surprises, from expansive savanna grasslands and dense mopane woodlands to arid plains. At the heart of Etosha lies the Etosha Pan, a massive salt basin covering 1,840 square miles. This was once a giant lake, now a dry basin, with water only appearing after rare rains. The rainy season brings life back to the basin, transforming the Etosha Pan into a gathering point for migratory birds, including flamingos. When the water flows in, the skies come alive with the vibrant colors of these birds. However, in the dry season, the pan reverts to its desolate state, leaving only natural waterholes. It is around these waterholes that life in the park is most vibrant. This region is home to 114 mammal species and over 400 bird species. The dry season, from May to October, is the ideal time to witness these spectacular scenes. An entire ecosystem gathers around the waterholes where every creature must compete to survive. In Etosha National Park, African bush elephants are famously nicknamed ghost elephants due to the white dust covering their bodies after wallowing in the salty mud of waterholes. This mud layer not only helps regulate their body temperature, but also protects their skin from insects. The elephants in Etosha are the tallest African bush elephants, standing between 10 to 13 feet tall and weighing up to 15,000 pounds. Their remarkable adaptation to the arid environment enables them to endure the harshest conditions. Elephants live in family groups led by an older female, known as the matriarch. These groups consist of females and young calves, while adult males typically live alone or in small bachelor groups. Water sources within the park, especially the Etosha Pan, are essential for their survival. During the dry season, herds travel dozens of miles to find water and food. They can consume up to 600 pounds of food daily, including grass, leaves, and fruits. At the peak of the dry season, elephants often gather around waterholes to drink and bathe in mud. During these times, the largest males usually appear, often around midday when temperatures are at their highest. The vast, salty Etosha Pan becomes a crucial lifeline for elephants and many other animals during the harsh, dry season. Under the intense sun of Etosha National Park, the Angolan giraffe proudly towers over the arid savanna. This is the tallest animal in the world, reaching heights of up to 18 feet. Its pale yellow coat, adorned with large brown patches extending down its legs, presents a majestic yet silent image. These giraffes are not only symbols of strength, but also of resilience, adapting to the harsh conditions of Etosha, where dry savannas and endless grasslands stretch across the landscape. In this arid environment, the giraffe's diet primarily consists of comifera and acacia trees. They are well adapted to sparse vegetation, feeding mainly in the early morning and late afternoon when temperatures are cooler. The tender leaves they pull from the treetops provide the nutrition needed to sustain their large bodies, which weigh between 1,800 and 2,600 pounds. Giraffes roam constantly, without fixed territories. They live in small groups of 5 to 20 individuals, where females and young survive together. Occasionally, males, living alone or in small bachelor groups, display their strength in intense necking battles to win mating rights. The breeding season occurs year-round, and after a 13 to 15-month gestation, A calf is born, standing up and following its mother within just an hour, a vital survival instinct. Meanwhile, within the arid savanna of Etosha, lions continue to assert their dominance. Here, the majestic silhouette of these powerful predators stands out against the dry golden grasslands and dusty waterholes. Every step they take leaves a mark on the harsh landscape, embodying strength and a spirit of survival forged over centuries. Etosha's lions are massive, with males weighing up to 550 pounds. Their muscular bodies, equipped with sharp claws and powerful jaws, are always ready to bring down prey. When it comes to hunting, the lionesses play the primary role. During the dry season, as temperatures soar, life in Etosha congregates around shrinking waterholes. This is the prime hunting opportunity for lions. They don't need to chase far. Instead, they lie in wait near the water's edge, anticipating herds of antelope, zebras, or gemsbok arriving to quench their thirst. The dry season becomes the main stage, where dramatic survival battles between predator and prey unfold. They stalk their prey from the shadows of low shrubs, their golden eyes gleaming with intent. Lion hunting strategy in Etosha demands patience and skill. In a pride, the lionesses encircle the prey, forming wings to trap it from all sides. Meanwhile, other lions lie in wait, hidden in the shadows, ready to strike when the moment comes. Though their running bursts are short-lived, lions can reach speeds of up to 50 miles per hour in mere seconds. This teamwork makes them the most effective hunters on the grasslands. Etosha, with its vast savanna and arid landscapes, is one of the last strongholds for the cheetah. A creature of remarkable agility and precision, cheetahs are among the top land predators. However, their numbers have sharply declined over the past century, making Etosha one of the most vital refuges for this species in Namibia. The cheetah's long legs and lightweight body are perfectly designed for speed. They can accelerate up to 60 miles per hour in just a few seconds, turning each chase into a high-stakes race for survival. Their flexible bodies are like a drawn bow, with a supple spine that allows for rapid acceleration and sharp turns. But the price of speed is brevity. After each sprint, a cheetah has only about 20 to 30 seconds to take down its prey before exhaustion sets in. A chase is limited to once a day, with everything depending on precision and patience. In Etosha National Park, cheetahs make strategic use of the terrain. Large trees or termite mounds serve as lookout points and communication hubs. Here, scent marks left by other cheetahs act as a silent way of defining territories. Researchers use camera traps and GPS tracking to monitor their activities, aiming to understand how cheetahs survive in Etosha's challenging environment. With their efficient hunting skills, Etosha's cheetahs focus on medium-sized prey such as springbok and hares. They tend to hunt in the early morning or late afternoon when temperatures drop, and prey is more likely to be exposed. Their strategy involves stalking from afar, waiting until they're within 60 to 70 feet, before charging forward at breathtaking speed. Despite their agility, cheetahs face significant threats from nature and other predators. Larger carnivores like lions and hyenas not only compete for prey, but often steal cheetahs' hard-won meals. Caution and finely tuned tactics are essential for the cheetah's survival. The Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain are precious lifelines within Namibia's harsh environment. The Kunene River originates in Angola, flowing across the border and emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. Amid this semi-arid landscape, the river is like a bloodstream coursing through the dry desert, carrying life to countless species. Along the Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain in Namibia, the African jacana steps gracefully over the water, as if walking on floating leaves. With their long legs and slender toes, they maintain perfect balance on the broad lily pads. This bird is not only striking in appearance, but also unique in its breeding behavior, polyandry. In the world of the African jacana, it is the female that mates with multiple males. Afterward, she leaves the responsibility of incubating the eggs and raising the chicks to the males. This makes the males devoted fathers, building nests from floating vegetation and protecting the young in the challenging wetland environment. African jacanas feed on small creatures like insects, crustaceans, and mollusks, walking across floating leaves to forage on the water's surface. Occasionally, they even pick insects off the backs of larger animals like buffalo or hippos, a characteristic sight in this wetland ecosystem. When threatened, the African jacana can dive underwater to escape, leaving just its beak above the surface to breathe. This agility and adaptability have enabled it to survive environmental changes, particularly in the seasonally shifting waters of the Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain. Breeding season brings the arrival of the great egret. Flocks of great egrets gather into rookeries among the trees along the Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain. Their yellow bills gradually turn a bright green, and long, soft tail feathers develop to attract mates. Their nests, built from shrubs near the water, are places where both males and females share the duties of incubating eggs and raising the young. Although typically solitary, during breeding months, great egrets gather to form large bird colonies amidst the untouched wilderness. With their pure white plumage, they stand motionless under the sunlight. Their long, slender legs blend seamlessly into the flooded landscape. Their sturdy black legs allow them to move easily over floating vegetation, while their sharp eyes keenly track every ripple on the water's surface. Standing up to 3 feet tall with a wingspan of nearly 5 feet, the great egret is not only a symbol of grace but also a skilled predator. It stands motionless, waiting for unsuspecting prey like small fish, frogs, or insects. When the moment arrives, its long, sharp bill strikes into the water, quickly snatching its prey, a scene like a white arrow piercing the calm water. The marabou stork, a large bird reaching up to 5 feet tall with a wingspan of nearly 9.4 feet, is also drawn to Namibia's Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain. With its bare neck, broad black wings, and slow, deliberate movements, the marabou stork carries a somber, almost grim appearance, earning it the nickname Undertaker Bird. Like the great egret, breeding season transforms the marabou stork into a communal species. They build nests high in trees near water, forming large colonies alongside other storks and herons. This is a rare time when they abandon their solitary lifestyle and join in the bustling society of the breeding season to raise their young. In the wild, marabou storks are notorious scavengers. Wherever there's a carcass, marabou storks arrive, competing with vultures and other birds for the remaining scraps. Their long, powerful bills make it easy for them to tear meat from carcasses, a testament to their survival instincts in tough environments. However, marabou storks don't rely solely on scavenging. They are skilled hunters in shallow waters, standing motionless as they wait for fish, frogs, or small animals to pass by. With a swift, decisive strike, their sharp bill ends the hunt in an instant. The Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain in Namibia are home to the roan antelope, a striking species with reddish-brown coats and long, prominent ears. Their coloring contrasts with the black and white patterns on their faces, making them an unmistakable sight on the African savanna. Both males and females have impressive curved horns, symbolizing strength and resilience, though the male's horns are longer, giving them an advantage in power contests. Roan antelope do not maintain fixed territories, instead moving in herds of 5 to 15 individuals, sometimes reaching up to 35. Older males often serve as leaders, protecting the herd from potential threats. Non-dominant males will form bachelor herds, groups of single males. When competing for herd control, males engage in horn battles, intense contests, but rarely fatal. Flooded regions with abundant water are a perfect haven for the African wild buffalo. Vast green grasslands stretch out where the earth meets the sky, attracting thousands of buffalo each rainy season. With their massive build, curved horns, and glossy black coats, buffalo create a majestic and wild scene. These large herds, sometimes numbering in the thousands, quietly move along rivers, embodying the power of one of Africa's largest mammals. Buffalo can reach lengths of up to 11 feet and weigh between 930 and 1,900 pounds. Their large horns serve as powerful weapons in dominance battles and as sturdy shields to protect their heads from attacks. This formidable appearance gives buffalo an aura of strength, deterring most predators, even fearsome ones like lions or hyenas, from confronting them directly. In the Caprivi floodplain, buffalo rely on both the abundant grasslands and the water from flowing rivers. Each season, they migrate along the water, crossing fertile grasslands in search of food. As grazers, they consume vast amounts of grass daily to maintain their health and energy. Their presence plays a vital ecological role, helping to keep grasslands balanced. The Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain are home to the semi-aquatic giant, the hippopotamus, a characteristic species of the region. Weighing between 2,200 and 4,400 pounds and standing around 4.3 to 4.6 feet tall, the hippo is one of Africa's largest animals. Its thick, hairless skin protects it from the harsh effects of sunlight, an essential adaptation in this challenging environment. Hippos live in herds, typically comprising 10 to 20 individuals, though groups can be even larger. Dominant males occupy specific areas in the water and defend them from other males, especially during breeding season. Territorial battles between males can be intense, with large canine teeth used to confront rivals. During the day, hippos spend most of their time submerged, where they can regulate their body temperature. At night, they leave the water, often traveling miles to graze. As grazers, hippos consume primarily grass, with adults eating up to 88 pounds each night. A 2024 study by Namibian Conservation highlights the hippo's ecological role in maintaining natural waterways, which in turn supports fish and other aquatic life. Their movements and activities help sustain food sources and shape the ecosystem of the Kunene River region. Namibia, with its vast deserts and arid grasslands, stands as a symbol of resilience. But as temperatures rise, the creatures that inhabit this land face a series of harsh challenges. Climate change is one of the most severe threats, particularly in the form of prolonged droughts. According to a 2023 report from the Namibian Environmental Ministry, Namibia is among the countries most heavily impacted by climate change, with average temperatures rising by 1.5 degrees Celsius over the past 50 years. Extended droughts have led to water scarcity, reducing available food sources. As a result, species like elephants, African buffalo and roan antelope must travel farther to find water and food, increasing competition among species. In their quest for survival, wildlife faces not only the harshness of nature, but also the challenges of habitat fragmentation. The expansion of agriculture and urbanization has disrupted the migratory corridors of many species. According to data from the Namibia Nature Foundation in 2024, over 30% of natural land has been converted into farms or residential areas. This has led to a loss of habitat for species like rhinoceroses and cheetahs. Restricted from moving freely, they are forced into crowded, isolated reserves. Poaching remains a nightmare for many species. The Namibian government has implemented strong measures to combat poaching, including enhanced surveillance and GPS tracking technology. However, the illegal trade in ivory and rhino horns continues on the international black market. Statistics from the World Wildlife Fund in 2024 indicate that approximately 50 rhinos are poached annually in Namibia alone. Namibia's biodiversity is facing a severe decline. Grasslands and wetlands have been heavily impacted by human activities. Many waterbird species, such as the African jacana and great egret, are experiencing population declines as their natural habitats gradually disappear. The challenges from nature and human activities cast a dark shadow over the survival journey of Namibia's wildlife. These creatures must contend not only with a harsh environment, but also with threats posed by human development. As rivers like the Kunene and the Caprivi floodplains continue to shrink, a larger question arises: can they sustain life in an environment that grows more unforgiving with each passing day? In response to these challenges, numerous conservation efforts are underway. Namibia is a pioneer in community-based conservation, with over 43% of its land managed by local communities as conservancies. This program encourages residents to protect wildlife and share in the benefits of ecotourism. As a result, populations of species like elephants and lions have significantly increased within these conservancies. Namibia also launched the Lion Ranger program in 2018. This initiative trains local rangers to monitor lions and uses early warning technology to track their movements, reducing conflicts. Building predator-proof livestock enclosures has also helped protect livestock from nighttime attacks. One of the major conservation efforts is protecting crucial ecosystems such as the Caprivi floodplain and the Kunene River. Programs here focus on habitat restoration and mitigating the effects of climate change, creating safe spaces for wildlife. Among these successes, the significant recovery of the elephant population, especially in the Kunene region and northern conservancies, stands out. Once on the brink of extinction in the 1980s due to poaching and war, elephants had nearly vanished from this area. However, thanks to community-based conservation efforts, elephant numbers have rebounded. Each of us can contribute to wildlife conservation and habitat protection. Start with simple actions, like reducing plastic waste, conserving water, and supporting sustainable products. Share information about endangered species and their environmental challenges on social media to raise awareness. Your actions today could be crucial for the survival of rare animals and fragile ecosystems. However, the long gestation period of zebras also makes them more vulnerable to predators like lions, hyenas, and cheetahs. When zebras are drinking water or resting after a long journey, they can easily fall within a predator's sight. While adult zebras can defend themselves with powerful kicks from their hind legs, the young ones are often more susceptible to being hunted. That said, zebras don't fight alone. Their greatest weapon is the unity of the herd. Zebras live in large groups, with each herd led and protected by a stallion, an adult male, who oversees the females and young. This tightly knit social system helps them maintain cohesion. Communication within the herd through vocal calls, body gestures, and social behaviors is key to protecting each other as they move. During their migration, which covers over 1,200 miles, zebras are not alone. They often travel alongside wildebeest and gazelles. These three species form a living shield, reducing the risk of predation. Predators find it difficult to single out an individual when large herds move together, creating the perfect dispersal effect. As a result, the survival rate of young zebras increases significantly due to their ability to move swiftly and the protection provided by the herd. After the rainy season, the Ndutu region transforms into a lush green field, where short grasses grow rapidly, rich in nutrients. This creates an ideal environment for Thompson's gazelle, a species that primarily feeds on young grass. Though they enter the breeding season alongside wildebeest and zebras, the Thompson's gazelle has distinct reproductive behaviors and patterns. Their gestation period is shorter, lasting only 5 to 6 months, Each time, a Thompson's gazelle gives birth to a single calf, weighing around 10 pounds. Quick and small, their survival depends on every step from the very first days of life. Thompson's gazelle is one of the smallest but most agile antelope species in the African savannah, standing only 24 to 28 inches tall and weighing between 44 and 77 pounds. This species is named after the Scottish explorer Joseph Thomson. Their light brown coat, combined with a white belly and a distinct black stripe running from their hind legs to their shoulders, creates a signature look that makes Thompson's gazelle easily recognizable in the vast Serengeti grasslands. Due to their small size, Thompson's gazelles are often pursued by predators like cheetahs and, at times, African wild dogs. Newborn gazelles weigh only about 10 pounds at birth and do not immediately follow the herd. Instead, their survival strategy relies on their ability to blend in. In their early days, gazelle calves lie motionless in the tall grasses where their light brown coats blend seamlessly with the natural surroundings. This camouflage is key to helping them get through their most vulnerable stage. Each day, the mother returns to nurse the calf, then leaves it hidden in the tall grass once again. The ability to remain concealed in the expansive savanna is not only a delicate form of evasion, but also a critical factor in surviving the intense challenges of life in the Serengeti. During the Great Migration, Thompson's gazelles travel alongside the large herds of wildebeest and zebras. However, due to their smaller size, they usually follow behind, taking advantage of the young grasses left behind by the larger animals. This trait allows Thompson's gazelles to avoid direct competition and conserve energy during the grueling journey. One distinctive behavior of this species is the constant flicking of their tails, which helps signal others in the herd to the presence of predators. In addition, Thompson's gazelles often engage in stotting, high leaps while running, as a way to signal to predators that they have been spotted, while also showcasing their strength to other members of the herd. After the birthing season in early months, from April to May, the southern Serengeti grasslands begin to dry out. The rains have passed, and the green grass is now just a memory. The dry, withered fields are trampled by the heavy footsteps of millions of wildebeest, zebras, and Thompson's gazelles. This is one of the most critical stages of the Great Migration. The southern Serengeti, once a paradise, has now become an arid land, lacking in nutrients. But further north, greener pastures still await. The start date of this journey is not fixed. It can begin any time from late April to early June. When the southern Serengeti grasslands can no longer sustain them, the journey north becomes the only option. The lands in Grumeti and beyond represent their final hope. This is the moment when the herds must move. More than 500 miles to the north, new grasslands await. A massive migration begins. 1.5 million wildebeest, 300,000 gazelles, and 200,000 zebras. The animals form lines stretching as far as 25 miles, like an endless river, carrying with it the rhythm of life and survival. Each one moves with a singular goal: to survive. Wildebeest, with their enormous need for food, consume tons of grass each day. They have no choice but to move quickly northward, where enough grass and water remain to sustain life. According to ecological studies in 2023, these herds can travel 6 to 9 miles a day, much faster than during other stages of the migration. This speed is a deeply ingrained survival instinct passed down through generations. As the southern and central grasslands are consumed, they must find new land before the dry season fully sets in. If delayed, the risk of malnutrition and exhaustion looms large. At this time, decreasing rainfall also alters the path of the migrating herds. They travel along the western corridor, crossing small rivers and wetlands that remain from the rainy season. The urgent footsteps of wildebeest and zebras echo across the dry earth. The savannah becomes a race course for survival, where agility and the ability to navigate the drying landscape determine their fate. These enormous migrating herds are not just groups of animals searching for food, but living shields that protect one another. They use a unique survival strategy, moving in large herds. The sheer number of animals makes it harder for predators to single out targets, reducing the chances of a successful hunt. However, as they move further north, the large herds begin to disperse into smaller groups. This strategy helps relieve pressure on vegetation and increases access to food for each individual. Each small herd becomes a fortress of survival on the 1,200-mile journey, where every step is a battle for life. The journey north is not just a search for food and water, but a race against time. As the herds approach the Grumeti River, the migration becomes even more intense. Predators from the cat family increase their activity, turning this area into a hotbed for hunting. According to the Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute in 2023, this stage sees a higher success rate for predators compared to other times of the year. Exhausted wildebeest, after a long journey and depleted energy from lack of food, become easy to spot in the open fields. Lions and cheetahs, two of the Serengeti's most renowned predators, seize every opportunity to strike as the migrating herds pass through exposed areas. The presence of predators at every turn forces the migrating herds to remain on high alert, where each step could mean the difference between survival and danger on the dry savannah. Lions, notorious and highly organized predators, pose a significant threat to the migrating animals on the African savanna. They don't hunt randomly, but rather with strategic planning, choosing ambush points along the wildebeest and zebra migration paths. Lionesses often select areas with dense bushes, trees, or rugged terrain to conceal themselves, taking advantage of the element of surprise and the weariness of the herds after their long journey. In response to this threat, herbivores have developed their own defensive strategies. Zebras, with their excellent vision, often lead the migration. According to a 2023 study by the Serengeti Research Institute, zebras can detect predators from up to 1.5 miles away. When they spot lions, they immediately issue loud warning calls, helping the herd reorganize, heighten their vigilance, and prepare for sudden changes in direction. If they need to escape, both zebras and wildebeest can run at speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, which makes it challenging for lionesses, who can only maintain high speeds for short bursts. If escape isn't possible, wildebeest and zebras have their own defensive skills to confront lionesses, the top predators of the savannah. Wildebeest, weighing around 500 pounds, are powerful animals with sharp horns that can grow up to 30 inches. When attacked, they don't just flee, but can also fight back, using their horns to strike and defend against predators. Lionesses, despite their strength, can suffer serious injuries if struck by a wildebeest's horns. Zebras, weighing around 900 pounds, can also turn the tables on the king of the savannah with powerful kicks from their hind legs. According to 2024 data from the Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute, a zebra's kick is strong enough to cause serious injuries to lions, especially when aimed at the head or chest. This ability allows them to defend themselves when under threat. Additionally, zebras tend to run in smaller groups and use their kicks when faced with the danger of being surrounded. In areas with dense grass and rugged terrain, tensions rise. On one side are the patient, hidden lions, and on the other, the cautious, alert herds, moving carefully with each step. The struggle for survival between predator and prey plays out daily, where life and danger are always just a heartbeat apart on the vast savanna grasslands. Meanwhile, cheetahs become a significant threat to gazelles and zebras. With incredible speeds reaching between 60 to 75 miles per hour in short chases, cheetahs are the fastest land predators. On the open plains of the African savanna, where speed is a key weapon, cheetahs take advantage of their ability to sprint across flat fields to close in on their targets. However, migrating animals have their own defense strategies. When a chase begins, gazelles don't scatter aimlessly in fear. Instead, they employ smart tactics. Thompson's gazelles, small but incredibly quick, disperse in different directions. This creates visual confusion, making it harder for cheetahs to focus on a single target. With speeds of 50 to 60 miles per hour, Thompson's gazelles are formidable opponents. However, their primary defense lies not just in speed, but in their ability to make sudden changes in direction. They use zigzag running patterns with sharp turns, causing cheetahs to lose momentum. These movements require precise timing and prevent the predator from maintaining maximum speed for long. Cheetahs can only sustain their high speeds for 20 to 30 seconds, and if the gazelle can evade the cheetah for that long, the chance of survival increases dramatically. Around May to June, the wildebeest, zebras and gazelles head towards the western Serengeti, where the Grumeti River crosses their path. The migration now faces a significant challenge, crossing the treacherous waters. Predators lurk beneath the surface or ambush from the riverbanks, waiting for the inevitable moment when the animals must cross. The lush green pastures to the north are just beyond the river, but it represents a boundary between survival and danger. The Grumeti River, although not as wide as the Mara River, remains a formidable obstacle on the migration journey. Stretching about 30 miles in length, its narrow and deep sections become deadly traps for the migrating herds, which often move in large groups, relying on numbers for protection from predators. As the migration reaches the Grumeti River, they encounter one of the savanna's most formidable predators, the Nile crocodile. These aquatic giants patiently hide beneath the surface, waiting for the moment the animals enter their range. With an average length of 16 to 20 feet and an immense bite force of up to 3,700 pounds per square inch, a single moment of inattention can lead to an adult zebra being dragged into the murky waters in an instant. According to research from the African Wildlife Conservation Fund in 2024, the success rate of Nile crocodiles during chaotic river crossings reaches up to 70%. For the weaker, younger, or more fatigued members of the herd, the river becomes a deadly trap. Young wildebeest or small gazelles, lacking the strength to fight against the current, may succumb and become a feast for the waiting crocodiles. The Grumeti River becomes a perilous barrier in the migration, where life and danger are decided in mere seconds amidst the swirling waters. But the Grumeti River is not the only challenge. On either side of the river, large cats like lions, hyenas, and leopards lie in wait, ready to take advantage of any moment of distraction. Among them, leopards are particularly notorious for their climbing abilities and their skill in ambushing from above, making them especially dangerous in areas with dense vegetation. Leopards patiently wait for prey from high branches, targeting weakened or young animals that stray from the herd. According to research from the Serengeti Research Institute in 2024, leopards have a 50 to 60% success rate in attacking vulnerable or young migrating animals. They capitalize on the panic following the river crossing, choosing individuals who are too exhausted to keep pace with the herd. With their agility and impressive strength, leopards can launch a surprise attack and take down prey in the blink of an eye. Once they've caught their prey, leopards will drag the carcass up a tree to avoid it being stolen by other predators. Despite the dangers and challenges, the migrating herds must press on to reach the lands of hope and life beyond the river. At this point, they demonstrate remarkable survival skills and strategies. As they approach the Grumeti River, the timing, location, and method of crossing become matters of life and death. A wrong choice can lead to disaster, with Nile crocodiles waiting in the water. In May and June, the Grumeti River is often filled with water due to earlier heavy rains. However, as the rains diminish, the river's water level becomes unpredictable, creating dangerous conditions for the animals crossing. At this stage, the most important survival strategy is moving in large groups. Around 1 million wildebeest and 200,000 zebras will cross the river during this time, often in groups of 5,000 to 10,000 animals at a time. The leaders of the herd, typically the strongest individuals, will guide the group across, scouting the riverbed to find a safe path. Moving in large groups not only increases their chances of survival by providing protection for one another, but it also creates confusion. This makes it difficult for predators to select a specific target to attack. In the fast-flowing waters and dangerous hunts, the unity of the herd becomes their strongest weapon, turning this perilous journey into a strategic contest between survival and danger. One distinctive behavior scientists have observed in the migration is the hesitation of wildebeest before crossing the Grumeti River. This behavior can last from several hours to even days, as the herd gathers at the riverbank, examining the water and looking for signs of Nile crocodiles. This hesitation is not just indecision, but a crucial survival strategy. According to the latest ecological studies, this caution allows the herd leaders to detect potential threats, particularly if the water is too deep or if crocodiles are near the shore. These tense moments of waiting create an atmosphere of suspense and danger, where the line between life and danger is razor thin. This behavior gives the wildebeest time to scout the area, minimize risk, and increase their chances of survival in the challenging river crossing. It's more than just a migration. It's a calculated battle with nature, where survival instincts have been honed over millions of years. In June, the African savannah becomes more vibrant than ever. The migration continues its rhythm northward, but also enters a special phase, the mating season. The migrating herds suddenly become tense. Male animals battle to secure the right to continue their lineage, creating dramatic scenes across the vast grasslands. Roars and the thunder of hooves echo everywhere. The struggle for survival becomes even more complex as predators seize this opportunity to hunt for an easy meal. During this time, the herds no longer move as a unified group. Smaller groups, known as splinter herds, scatter in different directions. They spread across the Serengeti, searching for the remaining fresh grass. Two main paths unfold. Some groups head west, crossing the Grumeti River and into the Singita-Grumeti Reserve. Others move straight north, passing through Seronera, reaching Lobo, and approaching the Loliondo border. June to July in the Serengeti marks a significant shift in climate. According to data from the Tanzania Meteorological Authority in 2023, average rainfall during this period drops sharply, ranging from 0.8 to 2 inches per month. Short rains may still appear, but the gradual decrease in moisture signals the approaching dry season. Temperatures rise, grass begins to wither, and water sources become scarce, forcing the migrating animals to fight for survival. June to July marks the rut, or mating season, for the migrating species in the Great Migration. Millions of wildebeest and zebras move across the dry plains, but at this moment, the competition for mates becomes the top priority. The strongest males face off, defending their territories and fighting for the right to breed. The dry climate, yellowing grass, and scarcity of water add to the intensity of this battle, pushing each animal to the limits of survival. Blue wildebeest are the largest in number and considered a keystone species in the Great Migration. As June arrives, the northern Serengeti and western corridors are filled with the roars of males during the mating season. This is when they begin to establish territories and engage in intense competition to attract females. The strongest males select the most fertile grasslands as temporary territories. With every stride, they showcase their strength through intense confrontations, from headbutting to high-speed chases. The fight for mating rights is a relentless battle. Successful males who defend their territories well have higher chances of breeding and may mate with several females in their area. Nature adds an interesting dynamic to this battle. Blue wildebeest don't just rely on strength, but also use a subtle chemical signal. They mark their territory with a unique scent from pheromones, rubbing their horns and bodies against trees or the ground. This helps them not only protect their territory, but also attract females during the breeding season, maintaining social stability within the herd. However, the harsh weather conditions add another layer of challenge. As rainfall decreases in the Serengeti, grass becomes scarce. This forces males to constantly move to find fresh grass, making their territories less stable. In years of low rainfall, males have to change territories more frequently, reducing their chances of successfully maintaining their territory and breeding. Amid the Serengeti's dry grasslands, as hot winds lift dust into the air, every confrontation and movement becomes a dance of survival, where mating instincts and the struggle to endure are intertwined. Unlike blue wildebeest, zebras have a more complex and stable social system known as a harem, led by a dominant male. A harem consists of one male, several females, and their offspring. These members often stay together for months or even years. During the mating season from June to July, the harems gather into larger herds, sometimes reaching hundreds of individuals, migrating together toward the northern Serengeti and the western corridor. During this time, the males protect their harems fiercely, fending off intruders trying to approach the females. A male will signal a warning by rubbing his nose or shoulder against the rival. If there is no retreat, a fierce battle will ensue, sometimes lasting for hours as the two males wrestle, biting each other's necks, heads, or legs. The victorious male ensures the right to mate with all the females in his harem, maintaining stability and strong genetics for the next generation. Although they don't have a harem system, Thomson's gazelles are polygynous, with each dominant male mating with multiple females in his territory. Their breeding occurs regularly throughout the year, helping their population thrive. During the rut, males establish temporary territories, waiting for females to enter their area. Unlike the fierce battles seen in blue wildebeest and zebras, the gazelle males don't engage in intense fighting. At this time, males who control areas with lush grass have better chances of mating, as females tend to gather where food is plentiful, ensuring good health during the breeding season. During the mating season, in addition to grazing and competing for mates, the migrating herds continue their journey. They move in large groups, creating a natural shield against predators. The coordination between multiple species, especially zebras with their unique black and white stripes, causes visual confusion for predators, making it harder for them to pinpoint a specific target. As the herds move in large groups, the success rates of lions and cheetahs drop significantly. This improves the chances of survival, as potential prey are constantly protected by thousands of other animals. Even gazelles, though smaller than wildebeest and zebras, benefit from this protection when they move with larger herds. However, as food and water become scarce towards the end of the rainy season, the large herds often begin to break up into splinter herds in search of resources. This fragmentation creates more opportunities for predators to ambush, often targeting weaker or young individuals when the herd is scattered. In the Western Corridor and Kogatende area, lions take advantage of the dispersal of migrating animals to ambush those that are weak or exhausted during the mating season. During this time, dominant males often become fatigued from defending their territories and mates, making them easy targets for surprise attacks. Lion pride along the Grumeti River and in the Singita area use the complex terrain to ambush smaller herds as they cross the river. The mating season is a prime time for lions to hunt, as the dispersal of the herd and internal competition leave the animals distracted and less vigilant. Additionally, the migrating herds must also face leopards, a solitary and stealthy predator known for their ability to hide and ambush from above. During the mating season, when gazelle herds are more prone to scattering, leopards often target weak, young, or isolated individuals. Particularly when the males are busy defending their territories and competing for mates, leopards exploit their distraction to launch ambushes. With their climbing skills and muscular strength, leopards easily navigate challenging terrain, creating a significant threat to the migrating animals during their journey. The dense vegetation in the Serengeti and the Western Corridor offers leopards excellent cover. Thanks to their surprise ambushes from trees or thick grass, leopards can take down their prey in mere seconds before the herd can organize a response. According to the latest data from 2024, the success rate of leopards can reach 50 to 60% during quick and sudden attacks. Adding to the challenges of the migration is the formidable presence of hyenas, known for their complex social structures and group hunting strategies. During the mating season, they become a significant threat, especially to young or weak individuals when the herds are scattered. Hyenas are not only skilled hunters, but also opportunistic scavengers, often stealing prey from other animals. Unlike large cats, who often hunt alone, hyenas use pack strategies, surrounding and wearing down their prey through long chases before making their move. They focus on areas where the herds gather for mating, targeting individuals that have strayed from the group or when males are preoccupied with defending territories. From August to October, the Kogatende region in northern Serengeti and Kenya's Masai Mara become the focal point of the Great Migration. Millions of wildebeest, zebras and gazelles move north, having crossed the dry plains of the Serengeti, only to face the formidable Mara River. Daily river crossings take place, presenting a harsh challenge. This is the most difficult part of their journey. On the other side of the river lies the Masai Mara, a lush grassland, only 580 square miles, but full of promise with fresh grass sprouting after the rains. To reach it, the herds must cross the powerful river and face the dangers lurking within. The fast-flowing river stretches for miles, and beneath its murky waters are massive Nile crocodiles, eagerly awaiting their annual feast. As the migrating herds approach, the river's water levels can fluctuate unexpectedly, posing a serious threat to their crossing. In 2024, the Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute reported that during years of unusual rainfall, the Mara River's water levels can change dramatically. Sudden rises can create flash floods, making the crossing perilous for the migrating animals. However, in years with lower rainfall, the river levels drop, making it easier for the herds to cross. But this also means an increase in the number of Nile crocodiles, silently waiting beneath the still waters. The risk of crocodile attacks rises as the herds cross, turning this journey into one of the most dangerous moments of the Great Migration. The fluctuating water levels of the Mara River play a crucial role in the migration behavior of the animals. At this point, choosing the right time to cross is a matter of survival, as each decision directly impacts the herd's safety. Research from the Serengeti Research Institute in 2024 shows that in years with heavy rainfall, the mortality rate during river crossings can increase by 10 to 20% due to strong currents and the risk of drowning. On the other hand, in drier years, this rate decreases, but the risk of crocodile attacks increases as the herds are forced to cross shallower sections of the river, making them more vulnerable. From July to October, the wildebeest and zebra herds continuously move through northern Serengeti and the Masai Mara in Kenya. The river crossings happen daily, with multiple crossing points along the Mara River. A common misconception is that the herds only move north in June and stay in Kenya until October, but the reality is much more complex. At crossing points, the herds may suddenly change direction, sometimes crossing the river only to turn back immediately. The decision to cross or not often happens abruptly and without a set pattern. If one individual decides to jump into the water, many others will follow. Sometimes it's just 10 animals, but other times it's 10,000, creating dramatic migration scenes. As the wildebeest and zebra herds approach the Mara River, one of their most notable behaviors is hesitation and exploration. The herds often gather at the riverbanks for several days, waiting for the lead individuals, especially zebras, who have excellent vision and can assess the danger of the river. This behavior reflects not only caution, but also a sophisticated survival strategy. As the wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles step into the Mara River, the tension rises with every footstep. Hundreds of hungry crocodiles await, anticipating a grand feast. On both riverbanks, lions and hyenas also take advantage of the moment when individuals are separated from the herd or exhausted after their long journey. In these decisive moments, the river is no longer just a crossing. It transforms into a harsh arena. The predators, hidden beneath the water, are ready for the chaotic moments when the herds begin to cross. With their immense size and unmatched strength in the water, Nile crocodiles can easily pull down an adult wildebeest weighing 1,000 pounds. Here, they perform powerful death rolls underwater to tear apart their prey. From July to October, the Great Migration brings millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles from the Serengeti across the Mara River. Masai Mara transforms into a vibrant arena of survival. Covering approximately 580 square miles, this region is a natural extension of the Serengeti to the south, with diverse landscapes ranging from vast grasslands to river valleys and low woodlands. This area benefits from some of the highest rainfall in the savannah, with annual precipitation ranging from 30 to 50 inches, creating a rich and diverse vegetation. The short, lush grasses provide an ideal food source for wildebeest and zebras. Meanwhile, the taller grasses serve as a habitat for larger native herbivores like giraffes and elephants. This diversity creates a complex yet balanced ecosystem, where animals coexist without intense competition for food. Masai Mara is a biodiversity hotspot in the African savanna. This area is home to more than 95 mammal species and 570 different bird species. The rich variety of herbivores, combined with the migration of millions of animals, has created a complex food chain where predators are constantly in search of high-quality meals. The Masai Mara is home to the Big Five: lions, leopards, elephants, buffaloes, and rhinoceroses. Originally, the term Big Five was used by hunters to refer to the most challenging animals to hunt. But today, it has become a symbol of eco-tourism. Lions, a key species in the Big Five, play a central role in the Masai Mara ecosystem in Kenya. As apex predators, they typically hunt in prides. Large prides, such as the marsh pride, take advantage of the wildebeest and zebra migration, making it easier to find food. During the migration, lions often target larger prey like wildebeest, buffalo, and zebra, but they can also hunt smaller animals like gazelles. The size of the prey directly influences the lion's hunting strategies. When hunting smaller animals, 1 or 2 lionesses can carry out the hunt alone. However, when facing larger animals like buffalo or young elephants, lionesses usually coordinate as a group to increase their chances of success. Lions in Masai Mara tend to have higher hunting success rates at night, thanks to their excellent night vision. This becomes particularly important when wildebeest and zebras are fatigued after their long journey, making them easier targets. Beyond being hunters, lions play a vital role in controlling herbivore populations. As lion numbers increase, populations of wildebeest and buffalo decrease, which helps prevent overgrazing. This maintains ecological balance in Masai Mara, ensuring the grasslands are not overconsumed and keeping the entire ecosystem healthy. Leopards, one of the most successful predators in the region, hide in the shadows of the African savannah. In Masai Mara, they are typically nocturnal and live solitary lives in dense vegetation near rivers. Although their numbers are not large, the diverse vegetation provides enough space for leopards to hunt and survive in this competitive ecosystem. Leopards are versatile hunters, preying on a wide range of animals, from small species like rabbits and birds to medium-sized prey such as gazelles and impalas. Not only are they independent predators, but leopards also contribute to maintaining ecological balance. Their ability to hunt at night reduces the pressure on herbivores during the day. Using the cover of darkness, leopards approach their prey with incredible speed and precision. A 2023 study showed that the hunting success rate of leopards in Masai Mara is around 38%, significantly higher than other predators in the area. In the Masai Mara, the African bush elephant is the largest land animal and an important member of the Big Five. Adult males can weigh up to 13,000 pounds and stand between 10 to 13 feet tall at the shoulder, while females are lighter, weighing between 6,000 and 8,800 pounds. Their long tusks and remarkable memory not only help them find water, but also enable them to remember migration corridors across generations. African bush elephants live in matriarchal herds led by adult females. Males leave the herd upon maturity to live either alone or in small bachelor groups. In the Masai Mara, elephants act as the architects of the savannah, using their strength to knock down trees, move smaller plants, and create new grassland areas. This provides ideal habitats for smaller herbivores like gazelles and impalas. Arc elephant can consume up to 300 pounds of vegetation daily. Not only do they shape the landscape, but they also search for and dig up water from dry soil during droughts. As a result, Other smaller animals benefit from the precious water that the elephants uncover. The next giant, the African buffalo, is one of the most formidable members of the Big Five and a symbol of strength in the Masai Mara. Adult males can weigh between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds and stand about 4 to 5 feet tall at the shoulder. Their curved horns, especially the thick and hard part in the center called the boss, play a crucial role in self-defense, helping them fend off powerful predators like lions and hyenas. Buffalo live in large herds of up to 500 individuals, providing protection and safety for weaker or younger members. When attacked, buffalo herds often work together to defend each other, especially against large predators like lions. A 2023 study shows that lions' success rate in hunting large buffalo herds is only about 10 to 15%, demonstrating the power of herd unity. Among the Big Five, the rhinoceros is one of the rarest and most vulnerable species. Masai Mara is home to both the black rhino, Diceros bicornis, and the white rhino, Ceratotherium cymum, with the black rhino being more common, although their population remains critically endangered. The black rhino is smaller than the white rhino, weighing between 1,750 and 3,000 pounds, and is known for its solitary and aggressive nature. In contrast, the white rhino, weighing up to 5,000 pounds, typically resides in southern African grasslands. In the Masai Mara, black rhinos live in dry savanna areas with horns that can grow up to 5 feet long. Unfortunately, this feature makes them a target for poaching due to the demand for their horns in traditional medicine and trade. According to the Kenya Wildlife Service in 2023, there are only about 30 to 40 black rhinos left in the Masai Mara, despite numerous conservation efforts and anti-poaching patrols. From July to October each year, the Great Migration brings millions of wildebeest, zebras and gazelles across the Mara River, creating a breathtaking natural spectacle in the Masai Mara. The ecosystem undergoes significant changes as the vast grasslands become the gathering place for these massive herds. During the migration, these herbivores not only search for fresh grass, but also play a crucial role in the Masai Mara's food chain. According to a 2023 report from the Serengeti Mara Ecosystem Trust, the mass grazing stimulates the growth of fresh grasses. Additionally, the movement of the herds helps disperse seeds, increasing soil fertility. However, the large amount of dung produced during the migration also affects the growth and distribution of vegetation, creating favorable conditions for other species in the area. As November and December arrive, short rains begin to fall over the southern Serengeti, bringing the dry grasslands back to life and creating lush green pastures, an ideal food source for blue wildebeest and zebras. This is the signal for the migrating animals to leave Masai Mara and begin their journey back to southern Tanzania. The Great Migration enters its final phase, and the Serengeti Plains once again become the destination for the end of this long and challenging journey. At this time, in Ndutu, the short grasslands stretch out, forming the perfect birthing grounds for the wildebeest, ready to begin a new reproductive cycle. Nature prepares for a season of renewal, marking a fresh start after a dangerous and arduous journey. In 2023, around 1.3 million wildebeest, 300,000 zebras, and hundreds of thousands of gazelles moved in seemingly endless streams. The flow of life continues, unceasing. Crossing the Mara River for the second time in the year, the herds once again face familiar challenges. The fast-moving waters, the waiting crocodiles, and the chaos of the herd as they step into the river. Yet the resilient animals continue their journey southward. The Lobo area and the northern plains are only brief stops before the herds enter Ndutu, where new rains have begun to nourish the fresh grass. Migrating animals like blue wildebeest and zebras follow a very distinct movement pattern in response to rainfall. This journey is not only a search for fresh grass, but also a survival mechanism driven by the natural cycle. The migration behavior of wildebeest is influenced by hormonal changes and their keen ability to sense environmental shifts. During this period, the herds are not just moving in search of food, but also preparing for the upcoming breeding season at the beginning of the year. The Ndutu area, in particular, becomes an ideal destination due to its lush green grass and abundant water from the short rains. This allows the herds to replenish their energy after the long journey, getting ready for a challenging breeding season. As the migrating animals return in November and December, this marks a harsh and challenging phase of their journey. Predators like lions, hyenas, cheetahs, leopards, and occasionally African wild dogs patiently wait in the grasslands and near water sources where the herds typically stop. As the animals come back to the Serengeti to enjoy the rains and fresh grass, their exhaustion after the long journey makes them easier targets. Lions and hyenas fully take advantage of the herd's dispersal. As the fresh grass becomes more enticing, the herds spread out in search of food, creating opportunities for sudden ambushes by predators. The open terrain of the Serengeti and the appearance of water pools after the rains turn these resting spots into potential traps. Hyenas use their strategy of chasing and isolating weaker individuals, often targeting females or young ones, while lions usually focus on older, weaker or solitary animals. Though they are fewer in number and face competition from lions and hyenas, African wild dogs remain highly efficient predators, particularly of Thomson's gazelle. Their success rate can reach up to 80% due to their skill and coordinated group hunting, focusing on medium-sized prey like Thomson's gazelle, impala, and lesser kudu. To cope with predators constantly lurking, wildebeest and zebras employ defensive strategies. The herds gather in large groups, with the young and weak surrounded by older, stronger individuals, creating a living barrier of protection. Their unity forms a moving wall, making it harder for predators to isolate and attack their targets. Whenever lions attempt to single out a young or sick animal, the herd tightens its formation, making the hunt more difficult. In the final months of the year, though the return to the Serengeti signals a hopeful rainy season, it is also one of the most dangerous times. The struggle for survival among the migrating animals never truly ends. But through unity, alertness, and sophisticated defense strategies, they manage to overcome the constant threats that await in the harsh savannah. The challenges faced by the travelers of the Great Migration across the African savanna extend beyond dangerous river crossings and the threats posed by predators. There is also the rising pressure from environmental stress. climate change is becoming one of the biggest challenges the Great Migration must face. The migrating animals rely heavily on fresh grass and clean water, but the weather no longer follows traditional patterns. This not only changes their habitat, but alters the entire migration journey. These challenges push the herds into a more intense struggle for survival, where both nature and predators become significant threats. The rainy season in the Serengeti usually lasts from November to December, with a longer rainy season from March to May. But according to 2024 reports, rainfall has become more unpredictable. Short rains may last longer or arrive late, forcing the animals to adjust their migration pace. This directly affects the growth of grass, leaving insufficient food for the entire herd. In addition to changes in rainfall, average temperatures in the Serengeti and Masai Mara have also risen due to climate change. Higher temperatures cause water to evaporate more quickly, drying up rivers like the Grumeti and Mara much faster. This forces the herds to travel farther and move more quickly in search of water. In harsher years, higher temperatures lead to a spike in mortality rates due to exhaustion and a lack of food sources. One result of shifting rainfall patterns is the occurrence of extreme weather events, such as droughts and floods. Among these, drought in the Serengeti poses one of the most severe challenges for migrating animals. When the grass doesn't grow fast enough or in sufficient quantities, wildebeest, zebras and gazelles are forced to move earlier toward Masai Mara or stay there longer. This creates immense pressure on resources in the Masai Mara, where both grass and water become scarce. Flooding also poses hidden threats. According to a 2023 report from the Serengeti Research Institute, during years of heavy rainfall, rivers can become fast-flowing torrents, putting the herds in danger. Mortality rates during river crossings can reach up to 10%, particularly among the young. The river crossings, a vital part of the Great Migration, turn into nightmares where life and death are only a breath apart. Meanwhile, erosion and shifts in the terrain continuously reshape the path of the Great Migration. Heavy rains carve deep valleys and rugged hills into the savannah's surface. Rivers that once provided life have now turned into swift currents, threatening any animal that dares to approach. Wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles are forced to adjust their routes, sometimes crossing areas previously unexplored. The situation is far from ideal. Under human impact, even more serious consequences are happening with increasing frequency. The struggle for survival is no longer governed solely by the natural order. Infrastructure development in the Serengeti and Masai Mara is threatening the great migration of millions of herbivores and the entire food chain within this ecosystem. Projects such as roads, bridges, and urban development are creating major barriers, disrupting migration routes that have existed for thousands of years. These constructions cut across vast grasslands, dividing important ecological corridors that the migrating herds regularly use. WWF's 2023 report warns that such infrastructure could lead to significant accidents for the herds as they are forced to cross roads to continue their journey. Moreover, while tourism provides a significant revenue stream for Tanzania and Kenya, unsustainable tourism practices are causing concerning impacts on the Great Migration. The construction of resorts, campsites, and roads has encroached on the natural habitat of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles. Overcrowded safari vehicles in protected areas are a major issue. According to the Kenya Wildlife Service's 2024 report, during peak season, the Masai Mara can see as many as 600 vehicles per day. This heavy traffic not only disrupts the natural behavior of animals, but also causes stress. Herds are chased, forced to avoid vehicles, and must constantly change their routes, leading to herd fragmentation and increasing the risk of predation. The Great Migration, a majestic natural phenomenon, is facing increasingly serious threats. New developments are rising, grasslands are shrinking. Climate and weather patterns are becoming more unpredictable and erratic. Natural disasters are becoming more severe. The migrations seem longer, more exhausting, and more intense. The savanna ecosystem is withering with each blade of grass during the dry season. Without timely protective action, this magnificent journey of survival could be irreversibly damaged in the not-too-distant future. In response to these mounting challenges, international organizations, local governments, and non-profits have been working tirelessly to find solutions for nature conservation. Expanding protected nature reserves and ecological corridors has become one of the key strategies. The Serengeti and Masai Mara are already large, protected areas, but expanding them to ensure connectivity between these regions is essential. One notable project is the Western Corridor of the Serengeti. According to a 2023 report from the Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute, the Tanzanian government is working to expand this area to protect the herds as they cross the Grumeti and Mara rivers. These corridors help minimize human-wildlife conflicts while protecting migration routes from fragmentation. According to the Serengeti Research Institute in 2024, the government has implemented measures to limit the number of vehicles in conservation areas to reduce disruptions to the natural behavior of migrating animals. Ecotourism is also encouraged, with resorts adopting sustainable practices such as minimizing plastic waste and using renewable energy. Restoration projects for vegetation and water management at rivers like the Grumeti and Mara have also contributed to maintaining a viable habitat for migrating animals. According to data from the Serengeti Ecosystem Management Project in 2023, 5,000 hectares of land have been restored, providing food for the herds during migration. Additionally, environmental education programs, supported by organizations like the African Wildlife Foundation, have raised awareness and reduced the pressure from poaching. Local communities are encouraged to participate in ecotourism projects, allowing them to benefit directly from this source of income. In the ongoing efforts to conserve this ecosystem, the Northern Tanzania Rangelands Initiative, NTRI, has emerged as an inspiring success story. This collaborative effort between conservation organizations and local communities aims to protect vital ecological corridors, particularly along the migration route of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara. The success of these conservation projects also serves as a reminder of the responsibility we all share. To protect this great migration and the ecosystem it supports, not only organizations and governments, but also individuals play a crucial role. By contributing financially to reputable conservation organizations, people can directly support efforts to protect wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles. When visiting the Serengeti or Masai Mara, choosing eco-friendly tour companies with clear conservation standards, such as using renewable energy or reducing plastic waste, is a practical way to contribute. Respecting conservation guidelines, such as keeping a safe distance from animals, is another way to protect them from unnecessary stress. Visitors can also support community-based conservation projects by purchasing handmade crafts or using services from the Maasai people.
Africa, Botswana, over a century of hunting, has left some areas silent. A lone lioness and her grown daughter are the last remnants of a pride that once roamed here. By the mid-2000s, this paradise could have been lost in the mists of time, a footnote in the tales of places where the big cats once ruled. But then, two things happen. Hunting in this remote area stopped, and impossibly, two male lions arrive from nowhere. These mysterious lions have been waiting years for the gunshots to stop. At last, they respond to the silence beyond the river and start a series of forays into the female's land. Today is their day, and this is the moment of hope for the lions in this paradise. Our sophisticated thermal cameras capture their story and their journey in search of the last females of the pride beyond the swamp. This is the best way to see into the world of these cats persecuted by humans until they learn a better side of us, and we go into the darkness with them. A heat signature stays behind like a shadow, just like their scent, as they search for signs of the two lonely females. We call the two females Bolelo and Laboni, hot and light. Bolelo's eyes, as you will see in the daylight, are hot, dark red. Her father was shot before she was even born. She takes her cues from her mother. And for the first time in years, the night reverberates with lion song. This beautiful harmony will signal the end of an era, a new story of hope, and the birth of a pride. Over the next few months, the courtship, mating, and early life of stability keeps the males around and attentive to the females. With the silencing of the guns, other survivors start arriving at the waters of the Cylinder Spillway in northern Botswana. Months later, the males find themselves the center of attention of 6 tiny replicas of themselves. Both Bolelo and her mother, Laboni, have given birth. Most females have to work hard to convince males that the cubs are theirs. Not here. There are no competing males. For the first time in decades, buffalo have ventured into the area as well. They attract attention. It's new, daunting prey for the two females. And as we follow into their world of darkness, it's into a realm of heat signals and hidden behavior. The two females are inseparable. They're lethal on the hunt. As bold as this mother-daughter combination is, it usually takes a full pride to bring down a buffalo. Polelo's warm eyes hint at her hunger to follow. But they have a small problem. One little male cub barely notices, as if he's already made up his mind what to do today. The lionesses have an additional imperative, though. They know they drew first blood last night, and the buffalo is weakening. The females decide to go all the way. As they cross the halfway mark, skirting the hippos, everything seems to be going according to plan. Out here, chaos can quickly turn to death. Every time a cat is in the water, it's at high risk and extremely anxious. Finally, one by one, bedraggled and scared cubs emerge, each with this grand adventure behind it. Most of them, at least. Two never even tried. It's a bad time to try now. A crocodile has moved into position. Even on the bank, the cubs are a target. Labone and Bolelo don't hesitate. They both throw themselves right at the danger. The incident triggers that maternal instinct once again. The cubs have taken this all in attentively. Neither mother has had much experience at this. They're confused, stressed, and anxious. With the water churned up, even more crocodiles and hippos have been attracted. But now, the 4 cubs are alone, unguarded. The females are learning that they just can't keep everyone happy. It's an impossible choice. You can drag a cub to water, but you can't make it swim. Ultimately, the loudest voices attract their attention, and once again, the females swim the gauntlet. Every move is watched. Monsters emerge from the deep. No one is comfortable with creepy, slithering reptiles underfoot. The 2 females have chosen. We don't know if lions can do the calculations, but today they know where they must be. Then, a giant threat. One that will change everything here today, once again. To fight at 14 months, the pride has not lost a single cub. Now, each day is about learning and bonding, lessons that will strengthen them as a functioning pride. And each afternoon, Labone and Bolelo take them off into the fields of prey to practice. Every step of their progress is watched by the males. At nearly 2 years old, a glimmer of maturity shines in their eyes and shows on the young males' necks. once again, when Laboni and Bolelo take the teenagers out to hunt. Our thermal cameras reveal just how different the male cub and his brothers perform. He's characteristically bold, but he triggers the hunt far too early. Stealth is less of an issue for him, more an optional extra. It's a bumbling chaos. The real question is whether they will ever learn, or if they will learn in time for what has come in their way. The young pride is in an intensive phase of learning how to hunt, but it just isn't working. Now their time as cubs, the free ride phase of their lives, is running out. In Celinda, the real riches for sub-adult lions lie in the isolated islands, in the dark. These are 1.5-ton beasts of violent aggression. Tonight, the mothers hang back and leave it to the teenagers. The young male and his siblings are better at this kind of hunting. It's less formal, more a game of make it up as you go along. And what starts as just a game quite suddenly turns. One hippo makes a giant mistake. They pull off the impossible, a momentous kill for them. Tonight they conquered their fears and opened the window of knowledge. They realize they can kill hippos. As they develop their skills, the hippo bones start to mount up across Celinda and drives them to the riverbanks each day. This pride has never quite adapted to these crossings. Even with their cubs almost the same size as them, Labone and Bolelo must lead the way. Like most teenagers, they burn off energy fast. Playing, pretending to be hunters, refining the kill, with sharp claws safely sheathed. Those will come out tonight. As it turns cold in the winter evenings, Cylinder develops a chill. Some of the smallest creatures have to find food to convert into energy and are constantly on the move. Not the lions. They huddle up and sleep it off, totally oblivious to the things that go bump in the night. Nothing wakes them, even the pitter-patter of rodent feet past their noses. The male lion is often the first to rouse the pride. He's a teenager, and midnight is his hour to get hungry. He senses he may just have stepped on something. Approaching 3 years now, his mane is slightly larger, even than his brother's. A benefit or a handicap? Tonight his ambition has got him into a difficult situation. He's going to need rescuing again. As a decoy, he's done his job. Using hippo hunting skills, they isolate a large old buffalo, and within moments, the rest of the pride are on the bull. The bellows cut through the night and send a signal to the resident males. It's an instant reaction. It's not the sounds of dying that he's focused on as the young lions hesitantly go about the kill. It's who's killing it that the male wants to understand. He pinpoints the sounds and slowly hones in. first time, the young male and his siblings don't rush to greet their fathers. Something in their voices warns them off. Laboni and Bolelo can only listen to the fights in the darkness for days and months, and seem to know that there's nothing they can do to alter the outcome. It's the lion's way. The expulsion of grown cubs is as old as life or death itself on these plains. The next phase sends them away into a nomadic life. In Cylinder, the sins of the past trophy hunting era have been turned back. A recovery from 2 original females to more than 60 lions now wandering this paradise. To achieve that, the pride has to endure one last expulsion by their fathers. This violent end to youth is actually the real birth of a pride, the natural order restored, a testament to what can happen when we do silence the guns.